Hi, thank you for joining us today on Faces K Radio Ohio Connect. We are going to talk about transitioning to kindergarten. This is a really big decision, and there are a lot of factors that you should think about as you make this very important decision for your child. When it comes to education, one size does not fit all, and we're fortunate in Ohio that there are a lot of school options for families to choose from. First and foremost, I want to say that you know your child best, and you will know which school option or choice is best for them. In Ohio, there's pretty much five different types of school options, one being our public schools, which many of us are probably most familiar with. There are our neighborhood schools that are in our communities across the state and across this country. The second type would be a public school that's a magnet school, and oftentimes these schools offer a particular type of curriculum. For example, there are STEM schools. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math, and this means that there's a real focus on these subject areas within all things related to that school. Oftentimes, these schools are admissions or enrollment is based on a lottery. So, if you're considering this type of school option for your child, you really want to get in there and do some research and figure out all the timelines and requirements for doing so. The third type is what's considered a chartered non-public school. And a chartered non-public school is essentially a private school. Many of our parochial schools, religious-based schools fall into this category. There are also community schools. Another name for community schools are charter schools. These schools they're also public schools. However, they operate independently of a school district. They are tuition free and generally state and federally funded. And then finally, you may choose to homeschool your child, which is also considered a type of school option. You can find a lot more information about these five options if you go to education.ohio.gov, and you can find websites that'll give you more information about each of these. Now that you know that there are options, which means that, and mostly those options have really expanded as a result of making the EdChoice scholarship apply or applicable to more families, essentially all families across Ohio. The EdChoice scholarship provides both access and affordability, so Ohio's families can make their best choices for their children. Now, this is your little person's first foray into formal schooling, and there are a lot of things to really consider. The first, is your child ready? And ready, we talk about ready a lot. Ready is complex, and it's a combination of a lot of different things. We think of ready oftentimes by a child's birth date. In Ohio, there are three birth dates for admissions into kindergarten. School districts can choose whether that's the August 1st cutoff date or the September 30th cutoff date. And if you're going to use the EdChoice scholarship, they actually allow children to turn 5 by December 31st. So there are three, depending on school district and depending on how what funding you're going to utilize to support your choice. There are three cutoff dates to be aware of. Next, so once you know, like, your child's 5 and they meet one of those three criteria depending on where they're going to go to school, the next thing is to think about, are they developmentally ready for the rigors of formal schooling. Kindergartens vary a lot, and that goes into what choice you'll choose. So it's important to think about does your social emotionally, I think, is really one of the key considerations for young children, depending on whether they just need another year. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, sometimes that's absolutely the best choice. Now, I suggest getting some support in making that decision, which can, if your child's in an early care and education setting, talking during conferences with your child's teachers and or the administrator of the program, or your pediatrician might be helpful, especially if they're really close to those cutoff dates. Second thing you want to think about is your child's learning style and interest. We all learn differently. And again, depending on how we learn best, a particular type of approach may or may not support us best as a young learner. So think about that. And also your children's interest. I mean, children express interest very early. And are they really interested in stuff? They're always building things. They're always interested in the natural world, the physical world. Children this age are naturally interested by the world of big ideas, yet they may be really hyper-focused on something. There are schools that really cater to different interests. Third, your child's unique health and or learning needs. Some of us, I've said it on many of these vignettes that learning is not linear. It's not a straight line. It's zigzag at best. And some of us just need some extra support in certain areas. And or if we have a special health condition, it may be healthier for us to be in a smaller setting than a larger one. It may be important for us to be in a setting where there's a nurse at the school all day. It may be important for us because we are very busy and active, and it's challenging for us to stay focused or on task. So a certain type of setting may be best for me. Your connection to friends and neighborhoods. Oftentimes the early childhood program your child may have been attending, or the caregiver that was caring for your child, they may not have been in your neighborhood. And so sometimes this is that natural transition to attend a school that is in the neighborhood, so that those peer relationships can form and develop at this critical time where those peer relationships become even more important. Don't underestimate, you wouldn't underestimate, but please consider your family's culture and their religion and or their legacy. There's programs that it's very important, right, that the school honors your family's values and vice versa. And so those are considerations when you're thinking about a school. Legacy. A lot of families have, like, we've all the girls in our family have gone to this school or we have all graduated from this high school. And so that legacy, the continuation of that legacy for your family may be, at the top of your list. And then finally, and a lot of times people don't want to talk about this much, but logistics matter a lot. Right? I mean, for your child to get the most out of their education, they need to be there. They need to be at school, and they need to be at school on time. And that if having, which is so challenging, but children in 3 different locations or across town from one another, and trying to get here, there, and everywhere or your work schedule, makes it very difficult to be somewhere within a certain window of time may prove challenging. I mean, we know that stressors, any type of stressor on a family, impacts young children and children's learning. So really consider those logistics as part of the equation. I know this is a lot to think about, and it's February, and honestly, you don't have a lot of time to really hone in on what is, those critical factors regarding your child, and then looking at the different options that best meet your child's needs, because a lot of those enrollment windows are open right now, and many will close their window a lot of times by the end of March. I will put a plug in for doing something educational during the summer. Yes, summer children need to take a break, and they need to be outdoors, and they need to be just enjoying themselves with their friends. You can do all of that and still be in an educational environment, and Columbus has just a tremendous amount of summer camps available for children. They too are in their enrollment period now in February, and oftentimes if you don't sign up within the next few weeks, you'll be closed out of a lot of those options. So don't forget summer. We'll be talking a lot more as we go down on ways to support your child during this transition, yet we wanted to get this critical information out to you. I know this was a longer than usual vignette. It's just the nature of when you're talking about different kinds of programs and different considerations. If you have additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out at education@thefaces.org. Thank you.